Welcome to Cooking with the Captain. Today we're going to be preparing a wonderful southern dish using cast iron. I know a lot of you are probably intimidated by cast iron because you may have had a bad experience at one time, but after today, I promise you, you're going to be excited about getting back into the cast iron. This dish is going to be fried pork chops and applesauce. Today I have a nice lean cut of pork loin. I have my favorite White House applesauce. If you've ever been to White House, Virginia, they tell me that the entire town smells like delicious apple pie, similar to Hershey, Pennsylvania, where you can smell the chocolate. In North Carolina, we happen to be blessed with having many local mills that make some excellent breading mixes. Today we're going to be using the House of Altry medium hot breading mix. And we're also going to be making a whitewash, which will consist of 2 eggs and half a cup of water in order to get the breading to stick to the pork chops. Brown eggs are local eggs, and local eggs are fresh. To prepare today's fried pork chops, you're going to need to select yourself a nice pork loin. This one happens to be pork loin that I'm slicing myself. You can buy pre-sliced pork chops, boneless, in the grocery store, but for today we've got a whole pork loin. You've got your egg wash. The key to this is having a 1-gallon Ziploc bag to douse your pork chops in the breading. I'm using my cast iron pan, and I'm using bacon fat to cook the pork chops in. And then I have a sheet pan with a rack on it because when I'm done frying the pork chops, I want to make sure that they come to an internal temperature of 165 degrees to ensure food safety with this particular meal. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our thin sliced pork chops, we're going to put them in the egg wash, we're going to douse them into the breadcrumbs. And what's critical about this recipe, a lot of people when they fry food, they think that means they have to fry everything on high. In this particular case, I would say cook slow and low. We want a low temperature, no more than medium high at the most, because what will happen is your grease will actually start to burn. If your oil is smoking, that means it's too hot. You want to turn it down a little bit. And then the other key to this is making sure you have a nice drying rack to get rid of all that excess oil and fat that comes off. I've got my oven set at 300 degrees. As the pork chops are done frying, I'm going to go ahead and put them right in the oven at 300 degrees. All right, so here we go. Here's pork chop number 1. Right into the egg wash. Doesn't really need to be in there long. Then you're just going to take it, put it in the bag, and then shake it. Shake it, baby, shake it. All right. You want a good amount of breading on there. Make sure it's covered. Try not to shake too much off, just a little bit. And be careful when you're dropping it into the oil. The last thing you want to do is burn yourself. That would be very unpleasant. So again, you're just going to put the pork chop in here and the egg. Douse on both sides, get it wet, just so enough of it can shake. If for some reason you run out of egg wash, it's simple enough just to make a little bit more. I always typically find that I have more than I need. And again, the key to this is when we're frying these pork chops, we're not looking to deep fry them in a traditional way. We're just looking to brown them and get the coating on the pork to be nice and crisp. What we're going to do is cook them for a few minutes on each side. One indicator when you're frying these, if you start to see that the breading is getting really dark brown, again, it's an indication that your oil is too hot. So you want to stick with my rule, cook slow and low. You'll end up with a better product, and you'll also have a lot more consistency in the appearance of your pork chops. So you're just going to let those cook. We're going to let them cook for probably about 3 to 4 minutes on each side. When they're done, we're going to transfer them onto the rack and finish them in the oven to a temperature of 165 degrees. After your pork chops have had just a few minutes in here cooking, you're looking for a nice golden color. And again, if you start to see the breading on the bottom start to burn or get dark, you want to turn your temperature down. I think we have it just right. It's just perfect. It's not scorching. We're getting a nice golden color. That's what we're looking for. So we're going to go ahead and let this cook for about 4 to 5 more minutes on this side, and then we'll pop them into the oven. So now that both sides are cooked and they have a beautiful golden color, we're going to go ahead and transfer those onto our sheet pan with our rack. I always find it more convenient to have some aluminum foil underneath the rack. It makes for an easy cleanup when we're done. So we're going to go ahead and transfer these onto here. And then they're going to go straight into the oven, which is preheated at 300 degrees. All right. Cooking should be fun. Baked beans, B&M. Best beans on the market. Quite the meal to serve tonight. Gonna add these pork chops. The other ones, go ahead and put them in the oven. One thing you do want to be careful about is don't leave them in there too long because they might dry out. All right, those are just looking beautiful. We got ourselves some delicious baked beans. We're also going to heat up our White House applesauce, one of the best applesauces out there that you can buy. I particularly like the all-natural chunky. Of course, it makes you a little chunky. Part of what makes your success in the kitchen more enjoyable is if you clean as you go. So what I do is, done using certain utensils and products, I'll go ahead and clean them up. And you know what the captain always says, if it's dirty, it's not clean. To complement this dish, as we said before, we're going to be serving it with some delicious B&M baked beans. Inside my steam cooker here, I have some sweet potatoes that I've peeled and cut. I'm going to be making a caramelized mashed sweet potato to go with this dish. It's going to be delish. All right, when you're cleaning up, it's critical. Grease never goes down your drain unless you want to support your local plumber. Never dump grease down your drain. Give it an opportunity to cool. And when you do pour it into a container that you're going to dispose of and dispose of it properly, if you're not sure where to dispose grease from, just check with your local city utilities municipality. Okay, if you're not familiar with cooking with cast iron, I would encourage you to do two things. You're going to Google how to season a cast iron pan, and secondly, Google how to maintain a cast iron pan. Part of your success with cooking with cast iron is knowing how to properly season the pan and how to properly care for the pan. If you care for it properly, your food will always come out delish. For my caramelized sweet potatoes, I have your traditional Kraft caramels. I'm going to go ahead and open those up, remove the plastic wrappers for them. Because when it's time to mash my sweet potatoes, I'm going to go ahead and drop some of these delicious little treats in. You want to just add a little bit of ground cloves, and a mixture of just regular cinnamon sugar. You can mix it however you want. Just don't go too crazy on it because it'll be too sweet. I'm going to go ahead and put that in your KitchenAid mixer. Make sure it's locked down, and just mix it all together. Alright, now we're getting ready to go ahead and plate these up. We have our delicious fried pork chops. Go ahead and put 2 on there because that's the way I like to eat them. We've got our delicious baked beans. We're going to go ahead and put serving those on the side because you got pork chops and applesauce coming. Got some baked beans. Go ahead and add our White House chunky applesauce. We got a little bit of that right there on the side. You could probably use serving tools. That would probably be better. And then I've got my caramelized mashed sweet potatoes just to top this off. Now, so for our final presentation, we have our fried pork chops, our B&M baked beans, our caramelized sweet potato, mashed potato, chunky applesauce, and all I can say is hold the fork, wipe your chin, because this dish is delish. Thank you for watching Cooking with the Captain today. Please like our videos and follow us. We thank you for watching.